Hi guys, welcome back to another video, and today I am building a greenhouse plant museum like build in my Minecraft server that I call the Family SMP, and this build was heavily inspired by a Minecraft YouTuber called Mogswamp. First things first, I had to take down all of the trees and fix the landscaping in the area where I wanted to build the greenhouse. I then removed blocks from the river, then I moved on after putting in some final details to finally building the greenhouse. I moved on originally using cut copper along with several other green blocks because I wanted to do a more whimsical kind of naturey vibe for the greenhouse. I had decided I wanted the center to be in a circle so that way it has a more natural shape to it, and so that way I could expand in every which direction for the greenhouse. I knew going in that I would want the roof to slant up kind of in a dome-like nature but with glass. In my Minecraft world, it had gotten dark by this point, and I had made sure that I liked the shape of the circle before going in and making sure to put the settings on always there so that way you guys could actually see what I was doing. Then I had went in and started on the entrance. I knew I wanted it to be a curve-like shape, kind of like an arched doorway without any actual doors. Now, while building the archway, I struggled a lot because I knew I wanted it to be tall and I wanted it to kind of look like a natural curve, but I didn't exactly know how to do that with the blocks that I have, along with the blocky nature of Minecraft. I went from a more character height, then making it taller progressively as I went on, making sure to change the blocks around and also change the width to make it look more natural, yet at the same time open. Now, if you plan to do this, I would definitely suggest getting a reference of some sort to build the arch, because I struggle a lot with mine. Even though I have built arches like this in the past, I have always made them look more blocky in the style of Minecraft instead of more nature-like, as I'm doing here. It began to become an issue with how blocky the entrance was actually becoming, and it bugged me quite a bit as I was building, because I wanted it to be more round, more flowy as I built, but it just seemed like it kept staying in this block-like state, even with the stairs. I also got the idea to add trap doors as windows, kind of like a wire-like window, but with wood, though it didn't really work out with the blue wood, and I really wanted circles, kind of like how the mangrove wood is, but it didn't really work out in the end. I then started to add stairs in this specific block around the base instead of sticking with the blocky trim of the cut copper. I much more enjoyed the more smooth-like nature of the stairs and the deeper green. It went more with the build and just how I envisioned it. I kept checking over and over again, making sure that it was working well and that it still looked like a circle, just to make sure that I wasn't messing up the build or messing up the integrity of the circle, and making sure that it looked how I wanted. I then checked the circle, making sure that I liked it. Then I went one block in and started to put in the actual walls of the build. I used aged copper because I quite enjoyed the way that it looked, and I started around the entrance of the build so that way I could make sure that the entrance did not become too blocky like I wanted. Now, I did not do that extra bump in the corners like how you normally would when putting in walls, mostly because I already thought that the stairs being there was enough of a corner, and because I wouldn't be seeing it on the outside or really the inside where it started, and it didn't affect the integrity of the build at all, so I figured it looked nice, and it also made the walls not look too thick. I started off by making the walls the same height as the doorway so that way I could gradually slope up. I quickly slanted up the roof before going to grab white tinted glass to start on the actual greenhouse part of the build. I debated putting a deeper colored glass next to the more light green colors that I was using for the walls, but decided against it and that the white looked perfectly fine with the green. And that adding the deeper green would just be way too much green for the type of build I'm going for. Especially because I knew that there would be a lot of plants that were green, so the green glass would have just been a little overboard. I had stacked up the glass about 3 blocks so that way it had a nice height to it before I continued to slant up with other blocks. I then went in with the same deep blocks from the base, putting them about 2 blocks up to add in more height to the build, and I continued to do this with other blocks varying from the blocks at the bottom as well as other prismarine blocks. I'd continued what I was doing with the main colored blocks before I went in with stairs, trying to make the transition look more natural and more curved. Of course, because at the time I was filming, I was a little tired, so I had to go back in and fix some blocks that I had missed while adding in the stairs. I then went on the inside with stairs to make the transition on the inside also look smoother, so that way it did not look extra blocky and kind of odd from the inside up. Then I had continued the same thing just under where the glass layer started with cut copper oxidized blocks. Then I went back to what I was actually supposed to be doing and continued adding glass to the top of the greenhouse. While using the glass, I had went up about 3 to 4 blocks. Before I had decided that was enough glass, and I went in with more of the dark green colored stairs. When I had added in the stairs, I did not connect them like you normally would to keep the integrity of how I was sloping upwards before I made the kind of like antenna on top. Before I went in with some final details made with the staircases on the roof. Then something had possessed me to make me think that it was a good idea to not only make this oddly shaped garden in the front, but replace the grass with concrete powder. I ended up not being happy with the result and ended up wanting to scrap it in the end, so next episode I will definitely be removing this and replacing it again with normal grass. And that's all I have for you guys today. Bye!